Hello, everyone. Welcome to Carnage Candy. I am Grayson, and this is Shaun, and we are here today to talk to you about a new movie that is on Shudder called Oddity. Shaun?
Oh my God! I gotta tell you, I get Damien McCarthy.
Just not your director?
I think Grayson. I just hate him.
I am opposite. I had a good time with it. I did.
So I turned on Damien McCarthy's Caveat.
Yeah.
Because everybody was like, you gotta watch Caveat because Oddity's good. So you turn on Caveat, and the main character's sitting there, and a guy he really doesn't know walks up and says, hey, I need you to babysit my crazy sister or family or whatever. She's crazy and isolated in a cabin.
Yeah.
He gets to the cabin, and the guy says, okay, cool, it's on an island. And the main character's like, okay, I'm still doing this for $300. And then the guy who hires him tells him he has to wear this vest with a chain to it that keeps him from leaving the house. And then I turned it off.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, okay, this is a movie about idiots. And so I went to watch Oddity, very like trepidatious. And I gotta say, I got a lot to say about it. But first, Grayson, what's Oddity about?
Oddity is about a psychic that goes back to a house where her sister was murdered. The sister is, of course, the opening of the movie where she is going out to her car. When she comes back, there is a person that says that somebody snuck into the house. You don't know what happens to the sister, but the rest of the movie is just a giant mystery on what happened, and it slowly unravels as you go on through the movie.
Such a giant mystery. It's really great to not know what happens or figure it out. I found that Oddity was just fascinating in how it was marketed because it does have this really creepy centerpiece of its main wooden dummy, right? It's
Which
like really
looks incredible, by the way.
It's like really good imagery and like really good production design. And I will say that Oddity really had me. Moving on. One of the better jump scares that I've had personally.
I was going to bring that up as well. There's one jump scare in particular in the movie that it made me smile because I was like, well done.
Yeah, that was very, very, very creepy. So we have a couple of central characters here. We have the victim, the sister who gets murdered early on. Then we have her doctor husband. His name is
Timmons. Dr. Timmons.
Yep, Dr. Timmons. We have Dr. Timmons' orderly, Ivan.
Yes.
And we have the psychic sister. Her name was
Dani, I do believe. It's a double role.
Yeah, it's a double role.
She plays both sisters.
Yes.
So it's Dani Timmons and Darcy Ordello. So Dani is the one that gets killed at the beginning.
Yes.
And Darcy is the psychic.
And she is a blind psychic who sells oddities in her shop.
Yes.
And she's got a whole bunch of cool stuff. Early on, she talks about how she's got this bell that will summon a bellboy.
Yes.
Pretty Stephen King-y.
Yeah, it really is. And of course, the doctor is one of the doctors that does not believe in the supernatural at all. He believes in science. He makes that known up front, right off the bat, that he does not believe in superstitious stuff at all.
Yes. We know that this doctor already works a lot and leaves his wife at home all the time. She hates being alone and all that stuff. And after a year after his wife maybe gets murdered, something terrible happens to her, we find out that our doctor is visiting her sister a year later.
Correct.
And it's on the anniversary. The doctor out of kind of pleasantries, kind of inadvertently invites the sister over.
I did like how they kind of came back to that because even I forgot about it on how they talk because he tells her, come back on the anniversary, we'll talk it out. And then she actually shows up.
Yes.
I was like, why is she here?
During this visit to her shop, spoilers here will now begin.
Yes.
We find out that he has already found somebody else a year later, and obviously our girl is not excited to hear that her sister has already been replaced after a year.
With good reason. Like,
sure.
That's very fast.
Sure, yeah, that is pretty fast. And she's we can tell she's pretty upset about it. She plays it very well.
She does. The actress that plays both roles does a really good job in being, one, portraying a blind person, and two, portraying the victim at the very beginning too.
Yes. She says that she can communicate with the dead through these objects that she sells in her shop and stuff. And I'll be honest, I was like, cool, the doctor killed his wife.
I told Tiff right off the bat, I was like, this is too obvious.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that. Now I am interested to see exactly how he did it, but it's him.
Yeah.
For sure. So in doing that, Darcy is given basically, I don't know, is it like a contact for his fake eye?
It's a fake eye.
Is it a full fake eye?
It's a porcelain eye, yep.
So the doctor gives Darcy the eye so that she can basically see what happens. He doesn't believe in it, so of course he has nothing to fear in his head.
Yeah, and this is a 4D chess play for him.
Exactly.
But she can see what happens.
Yeah.
And he's basically exposed pretty soon. Darcy goes to their house, shows up, and meets the new girlfriend.
Yana.
Sorry?
Yana.
Yes, Yana. And this character, she plays very well. Who's the actress that played Yana?
That is Caroline Minton.
Okay, good on her. I thought she was
she did very well.
She was an awesome kind of...
She played a good middle ground.
Yeah.
In a situation that she's stuck in.
Defensive where she should be, bitchy where she should be,
terrified where she should be.
Terrified where she should be. And Darcy has brought a gift for them from the shop, and it is a giant wooden doll that is the most hideous thing you've ever seen in your life. There's a lot of weird confrontation between Darcy and
Yana.
And they kind of have it out over this dinner. Darcy is adamant that she stay at the house while the doctor goes and works. And Yana doesn't want to be there when the doctor's gone, especially with the strange blind woman and the doll.
That she's never met, and the doll is creepy.
Yep. Yana can't find a key, so she sticks around and is kind of forced into the confrontation with Darcy. Again, they kind of riff on each other. There's like this really good tension. And this is where the movie like really starts to hit its stride. And it's pretty efficient about it. Didn't take too long. What does Yana find out with this doll in that head, Greyson?
So there are 5 holes in the doll's head. And the whole time, I guess she's trying to figure out if the car keys might be in the doll. But she gets really curious over what's in these holes. So she goes and she gets the weirdest looking scissors I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're doctor.
Yeah, they're doctor. That makes more sense now that I think about it. Yeah. So she starts pulling stuff out of each hole. The first hole, she pulls out some hair. The second hole, she pulls out a picture that's wrapped in hair, and it's of Darcy and Danny. And then I think at a younger age.
Yeah.
And then she pulls out another one at their older age. And then the last one she pulls out is a vial of blood. Now, Darcy is sitting on the couch passed out, or so Yana thought.
Yeah.
When she pulled out the vial is whenever Darcy woke up and freaks out. She's like, put that back. You don't know what you're messing with.
She's already
Leave it
standing
alone.
up, full bore.
Yeah, like she's looking in the direction of her, but she's not looking directly at her.
I was waiting for some, I was like, okay, she ain't blind,
Yeah.
But obviously she is. But
before that even happens, there is a cool scene to where Yana had called the doctor and been like, hey, she passed out on the couch. I don't know what's happening. And then the doctor's like, I'll be there in the morning. Don't worry about it. She hangs up the phone, and whenever she looks down at the doll is looking straight up at her.
Yeah, so it's like, is the doll moving? Is it alive?
They have a lot of fun with the doll in the movie, which I appreciate.
Yeah. The kind of turn happens. Yana starts to see some stuff. They do a lot of cool things with the camera.
Yeah, they before that happens, she shows the doctor the camera, and she had been taking pictures with it, and it shows like an image that looks similar to his dead wife, but he's like, whatever, it's not it.
Yeah. Pretty creepy stuff. But we eventually find out what happens to the doctor's wife on that night. Obviously, the strange man has come and said, there's somebody in there with you.
Olin.
Olin. But we don't know if it's just a ploy to get her out of the house so he can attack her, or if he can get in and attack her.
So Olin is one of the doctor's patients as well. So he had been released and had shown up there, and that's why there's this weird tension of, okay, is this just an angry patient that's trying to get revenge on the doctor, or is he being like real? So you end up seeing what happens. It cuts back to the beginning, and you see the sister. Olin says, I'm going to go to town. I'm going to tell the cops to come help you. Since you can't get your phone, which is in your car. I will be back. Stay at the door. And if you hear anything, run. So he leaves. She starts to hear stuff moving around. And then she opens up. She's like, hey, are you still there? And he's already gone. So she grabs a hammer and she sees her camera. And she walks up to her camera. And she grabs it and then puts it in the tent with her. Because they have a tent because they're building... They're working on a house that they're going into.
So she's got her tent set up. Also, kind of like a safety zone kind of situation, like for security. She loves being in the tent.
Which in real life, she's panicking. That's the only thing she knows to do. Like you said, it's her safe zone. She has to go somewhere. So she goes in there and she starts looking through the pictures to see if maybe the camera had caught somebody walking in, and it did. You see a picture of a guy who had snuck in with a mask on.
Good mask.
It's a great mask. I love that mask. And then she has this realization of, I didn't bring the weapon in with me. Now I have to get out. This person's in here. I'm stuck. She unzips the tent.
Oh, my God.
And then there's a wait. It waits for you. It pans around everything. And it's not like it jumps right in. It's just a peek.
Yoo-hoo!
He just peeks right over. It is amazing. It is so well done. And he comes into into the frame. He has a hammer.
He's got the hammer
that she left.
They do a very clever thing of kind of not having to do the work of showing the kill. It just kind of cuts that bloody tent. I thought it made it worse. That was very, very well and effective.
So you have all that happen. You also have Yana, who has now looked at the same camera and found a video of the dead sister and the doctor. And she's like kind of watching it. And you can tell she's kind of like annoyed by it, but she's like, let's just see what all's on here. So the lights are off. She kind of gets comfortable. She starts watching the video again. And whenever it pans over to where the doctor should be, it's the dead wife now.
Oh, yeah.
And full, I thought it was pretty cool, undead special effects on her.
And she's in the shadows, right?
Very evil. It gave me kind of like an Evil Dead.
Kind of dead-eye look. Yeah, the glossed over eyes and that kind of thing,
You think it's done there. And then she puts the camera down, and then she's in the corner screaming for her to get out. Smartest decision in the whole movie? Guess what? Yana does.
I'm leaving.
Yana grabs the keys that are in the trunk and is gone. Doesn't wait for anybody.
Yana says, I'm not interested. And Yana's not back.
Nope. But the cool thing before that even happens, too, is she looks back because she hears footsteps. And when she looks at the doorway, there's a slow pan in, or not pan in, but a walk in of the ghost coming out just staring
I thought that looked really bad.
I thought it looked okay. I just kind of
it looked like.
It's very CG'd. You can tell.
It looked like the Haunted Mansion at Disney.
I think it was more, I just kind of I appreciate it because it gave me an early 2000s vibe. So it's I'll let it slide.
I was like, why not just have that? Because she looks so good.
She did.
Just have her step up.
I think it was there's probably some commentary about how the shot didn't work and they just had to make it work.
I guess so, yeah. But she's gone. And, And, we're kind of left with this final confrontation between the orderly,
who you
find out has killed, and the doctor and our blind protagonist. What's her name again? Darcy. God almighty, it's too early.
This doctor is evil.
This doctor sucks. He's such a jerk.
He is such a piece of trash.
We kind of get to this head where, the effigy, the wooden effigy, finally kind of becomes a play. And the way it plays out is extraordinary. They do a very effective job. Our doctor has gone to talk to Darcy. And I don't know if you know this, but she's blind. And our doctor basically lays out a phone trap for her.
Yeah, because Darcy has told the doctor she knows everything.
Yep. The movie does this thing where it's like, why would the doctor have his wife killed?
Mm-hmm.
And Darcy goes, I know my sister. She would have gotten over you. Mm-hmm. It would not have been a big deal for you to just divorce her. And then the doctor lays out this really cool trap for her that's really brutal.
It is.
And as, Darcy plummets, we kind of find out that the doctor has her killed because the doctor says, she would have never gotten over me.
He's just a piece of trash.
Yeah. Okay.
To me, that's what I saw it as.
I know. I just I think a movie this thoughtful could have probably constructed something better than nuh-uh.
Well, no, they say more than that. They say that he didn't think that she would get over him, and he didn't want to lose everything that he put into the house that he was building.
This is true.
So he is very, 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 I would say, stuck up.
They must have spent a lot of money on that 1,200 square foot strip of...
I think he owns all of it.
I know, but
so,
I wish we would have seen... I know that they show the rest of the manor in full at the end, but I was legit like, how much did that house cost? Because, my house is bigger than his.
Yeah, I think it was... I think it's not only that. I think it's the fact that he bought it and he's, renovating everything in it.
Yeah. Maybe they could have done a better job of being like, this is a big place. This is a wing of...
It is kind of wild to think about. In the movie, it's basically one big square.
Yeah.
It's literally like you have a downstairs and an upstairs. That's it.
Yeah, and you're watching the movie, and in terms of the house, it's like, look, let's be honest, this was probably really cheap to make.
Yeah,
and they were keeping it cheap.
Yeah.
And the house is a simple layout and served what needed to happen in the house very well. But yeah, I was confused at that point because I don't think I had realized kind of the extent. I thought they were like in an apartment complex.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized it was like a giant old...
Yeah, he owned all of it.
It looked like a burnt out manor, but you only see that clearly towards the end of the film.
Yeah.
But when Darcy falls into the hole, Ivan comes there to kind of check out what happened on behalf of the doctor. And we understand why there are 5 holes in the head of the effigy. Darcy takes her fingers and in the arrangement of the head kind of touches her chest.
So she can control it.
Yep. She controls it to kill Ivan. It's just one of those things. It's like... It's a cheaper movie. They got to cut away, like every kill in this is off camera.
They did a really good effect on his leg. The broken leg looks really good. I will give that. The bone popping out. So where the special effects are, they're usually really good. Like at the beginning of the movie, and Darcy talks about it around this time in the movie, so I can go back to it. Darcy brings up that she had already controlled the monster once before. And it was... to get Olin, and she says, I'm going to pay for that. Yeah. Because she didn't know.
Yep. She finds out that Olin did not kill
when they found Olin's body.
Yeah, his brains are just like...
It's everywhere.
So you know what the fate is.
Yeah, there is some good stuff. But in saying that, I do wish... Granted, Ivan gets what he deserves.
It's a lot of buildup with the effigy. You should pay that off a little bit.
I do agree with that a little bit. So Ivan has this big chase with the monster chasing him. The sound effect is really good for the monster coming. There's like screaming and there's stomping happening. And then Ivan falls, breaks his legs. He's being choked. Unfortunately, Darcy passes away mid thing. So you're like, did she get him? Did she not? Next scene. Ivan wakes up.
Yeah. So the doctor, Ivan is not killed. Ivan is subdued.
For now, yes.
Yes, and then taken by the doctor. Turns out the doctor has just burnt the effigy. Darcy's dead, can't control it anymore, obviously. So the doctor's, again, there's no reason the doctor should believe anything that Ivan says. Ivan, if I'm the doctor, I don't believe in this shit, and Ivan comes up and says, hey, the wood thing came alive, chased me around, and I jumped off the railing and broke my leg. I'd be like, you're crazy.
Yeah. He's like, whatever. I don't care.
So Ivan gets strapped down, and my man cannot take care of his toenails. Oh my God, cut your toenails. When you cut your toenails, a straight line, straight across the top, right? Past the limit to where your toenail does not stick out past your skin, okay? My man Ivan has chewed his stuff all the way down. I did not want to look at this man's toenail. And here comes a crazy person gonna suck on them toes.
You could say he sucks on them, or you could say he just rips them off.
When he puts his mouth on it, he goes,
No,
Ivan goes, oh.
It's pretty cool because there is this scene to where this Ivan is basically like, I want to confess. Give me a priest. And the doctor's like, no.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. You're just crazy and you're going to stay here. And guess what? Sometimes accidents happen in hospitals. And he straps the sides tighter. He walks out, and then there's been this guy that's probably been seen maybe 3 times in the movie.
Yeah.
You only see the back of his head. But you could tell this is like...
This guy, he's like Garland Green
exactly,
from Con Air, right?
Yes. And then there's a scene to where you see the door open in Ivan's room, and he just kind of like looks around and doesn't see anything, and puts his head back, and he looks back down, and that guy is there.
Yeah, he's like on the bed.
Yeah.
And then he just starts munching.
Yeah, so it's led to believe that this guy is eaten alive while he's strapped in a bed, and there's nothing he could do.
I gotta say, Grayson, just at this point, I'm like, this is solid. This is pretty creative. And I'm like, it sucks because the doctor's going to get the bell at the end, and then they're going to cut to black before he dies. I just know that this is that kind of movie. This is totally a, what's that video game with the
Medium?
This is totally a Medium situation where I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just Damian McCarthy's like really creative. But like, I just know he's the kind of director that thinks it's more reflective to cut to black when something important happens. And I'm like, here it comes. He's going to deliver that bell. The bellboy's going to come back and he's going to cut to black before it happens.
Yeah.
Or it's going to cut to black right when he rings the bell, And I'm watching, and the doctor gets the bell, and he goes back, and he sits down, and he rings the bell, and nothing happens. He's super confident. Then at the end, we see the bellboy standing right next to him, and I'm like, they're about to cut to black, and then it cuts to black, and then I'm like, I hate you. -4 points instantly. The Oddity was never going to be more than a 6. I can't stand it. I hate it.
I went back and forth with myself a lot with this movie, and do I wish all 3 of them would have been waiting for him at the end when he rang the bell? Yes. I wish all 3 of them would have been waiting behind him.
Who's all 3 of them?
The wife.
Oh,
Darcy,
like something more than the bellboy? Yeah.
So just more than the bellboy. I would have enjoyed that. Or I would have enjoyed the bellboy running at him, and then you hear him scream, and that's the end. Just for one last big jump scare at me. But in the end, I'm like, he's dead. Like, I know he's going to die. Do I wish it had been more? Yes. But it wasn't like, I hate you. It was like,
this is a personal preference issue for me.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's the greatest ending ever. I guess it's just like one of those, like, I've seen worse, I guess.
I think in the Oddity, I think from the doll on at the table, I don't think I was surprised once, except for the trapdoor.
Oh, yeah, the trapdoors are really good. They play the trapdoor very well.
As far as, like, what I knew was going to happen, I felt very straight-lined. This is run-of-the-mill stuff, just packaged in a new way. And I don't know. I just the ending left such a frustrating taste. And that's something you'll probably find on Carnage. Anytime it's like, provocative thought, cut to black.
Yeah.
It just tells me, think of all the movies that didn't cut to black with a provocative thought.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
The Substance?
Yeah, like Substance. Yeah. That was like, it could have cut to black six different times,
yeah,
right?
For sure.
And I don't know. I feel like, with all due respect to indie horror directors, I've seen a lot of indie horror movies. Mm-hmm. I've been to a lot of indie horror film fests with budgets way lower than this, right? And I gotta tell you, indie horror directors, you guys cut to black way too much. And all it tells me is it's too transparent that you didn't have the budget to finish it, which is a little more obviously excusable. Or you didn't build enough that deserved some kind of payoff. That's just me. And listen, again, this comes from somebody who's been to a lot of indie fests. You guys cut to black way too often. Show me. You're making movies here. I don't want to be prompted with, the answer is not the credits. Okay? The answer is what you show me on screen. Imagine if he walked into the tent and we didn't get that really cool cut to the blood.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about, for sure.
Even if we would have seen a quick cut, they could have mirrored that really well. Like, imagine if, like, the doctor, like, had his head caved in all over the table. Like, even, they don't have to have the bellboy do it. But just that same really haunting way that they made the cut, just, like, cut to the doctor. I watched an innocent blind girl, not innocent, but I watched a blind girl fall through a trap door and die because of a brain contusion. I watched a guy have his wife plan him. I want to see him dead. I don't want to think about his fate.
Yeah,
I want to,
for sure. And I mean, that's a knock that I have as well. Like, I'll fully admit that I wanted to see him have the worst death of the movie.
Yep.
I wanted my Day of the Dead. I think his name's Rhodes, opens up the elevator and he gets ripped up.
Oh, the military dude.
Yeah, I want to see him have the worst death in the movie because he's the worst person in the whole movie. But, it just, you see the bellboy. What's the bellboy look cool? Like, I'll say the bellboy.
He looked cool.
He looked cool. I wish we saw more of him. But, yeah, it's
an oddity.
It is. I think if I was to say what I didn't like about the movie, it would be, I wish they would have used the ghosts more. I wish we would have saw Ivan in the mask more. And I wish we would have known a little bit more about the guy that they let loose in the hospital. Just to show, like, oh yeah.
Just to make, we didn't even have to see more of what happened to Ivan, but
I would have wanted someone to say, like, the guy who's locked up, I wanted somebody to give, like, a story of, hey, he's the guy that did this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Just to kind of be like, Ivan's toast.
Yeah, it's like he eats eyeballs like M&M's.
Exactly. Something like that. So those are my big, like, I wish we would have got that.
Yeah. I think overall, on our 1 to 5 scale, I think Oddity was sitting at a 4. Mostly because all the characters make really good decisions.
They really do. Like, it's actually a pretty smart crew.
I think that the only decisions that could have been a little more urgent was when they see this demon doll in the box. I would have left then. But I understand, the awkward pleasantries, especially they're trying to be extra nice because they feel pity for her being blind and left alone there. But I don't know. It could be a predisposition because of being on indie circuits before and just seeing every single horror movie cut to black at the credits. But that hard tanks it to like a soft 3 for me. And yeah, also not elevated by the same issues that Longlegs has is that everybody says it's the, oh my God, the Oddity really stuck with me.
Okay. I mean, I'm going at it as with a 3 as well.
Yeah.
By no means am I'm not going to say that this is like the greatest horror movie I've ever seen, because it's not. But I do appreciate. I honestly appreciate its jump scares.
Yeah.
Like, I will say, the mood of the movie and the jump scares are very good.
I think it does a lot with a little. Right?
It does. It really does.
It's got 3 locations. It's got small cast, and they do a really effective job of making it feel a lot more expensive than it probably was.
Yeah, 100%. Right? Yeah.
So
yeah,
and also kudos to Carolyn for really carrying the movie big time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oddity. 3s across the board.
Yeah. Let us know what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinions on it, and give us some ideas on what else you'd like us to review down in the our comments.
Chat, it's hard.
I know.
We're live a lot over on twitch.tv/hangtime.
So yeah.
You can check out our other review. We're going to be putting up Terrifier soon. And go check out this sweet action on Salem's Lot. 1979 and 2003. Rob Lowe. Don't you love it, Grayson?
So bad.
Not as well. Oddity looks like Hereditary compared.
I was about to say Oddity is leaps and bounds better than that.